wanted to hear the drums first. Hello, welcome to Real Estate on Sunday, now being filmed on Thursday, to confuse everyone. I'm Jim Lowenstern,
I'm Diana Doherty, and we're here with Harold Brown today.
very special guest. Harold, you've been called the comeback kid by Boston Magazine. Do you like that nickname?
Yes, of course, that was some time ago.
Yeah. How many
I'm
years
back
ago?
by now,
Yeah,
You're way back.
You're
Way back.
way back.
way back.
So
The come way back kid.
So Diana has the first question.
Okay, so
Actually, you know what?
You want to talk about something? Yeah.
I have the first question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. April 15th, 2012, we were in the studios of WWZN in Quincy, Massachusetts, and I asked you for some predictions and tell me what to do with investments and stuff. You suggested if I could buy your REIT, you have one or two, I should.
Yes,
How has your REIT been doing lately?
extremely well.
What kind of returns?
Well, the return on the actual cost of the shares is only about 2 or 3%,
Mhm.
although most of it is sheltered by depreciation, so the effective return is about 5%. But if you had bought it when I suggested, it was selling for about 34, 35. It is now selling close to 50.
Okay, all right.
How much did you invest?
All of zero. I, I,
Can you hear Jim though?
well, we're being
Yeah, you
picked
guys
up.
are
Yeah,
regardless
don't
of
worry,
whether you
Hal.
can hear one another, you're
we're-
fine,
Yeah.
just don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're good. No, I invested in Ukrainian municipal stocks. Yeah. So the other thing you suggested at that time was buy Florida, buy anything in Florida,
Yes.
and I also didn't do that.
Well, that has probably doubled or tripled in value.
Yeah, there have been stories.
But if you asked me the same question now, I would say sell.
Sell Florida. Yeah. So there's a building down in Miami. I think we're going to have Miami as our backdrop today.
Nice.
Yeah, we're in Miami today. So this broker I was speaking to a couple days ago, a year ago, she was looking at a penthouse unit at a building called Aquilina in Miami, and it was on for 1.9 million. She did not buy it, and it was bought, and it is now being resold. It came on the market for 3.5, multiple
Wow.
bids, and her lament was she should have just bought the whole building. Yeah. All right, so sell Florida. Okay, what should we do with your REIT? Keep buying?
I would keep buying,
What
yes.
what's the name of it?
It's called, the designation is NEN, N-E-N, Northern Realty Associates.
Okay, that's just one. Do you have two?
No, just one.
Okay, I'm confused. You have philanthropies, so you have two of those.
We have 2 charitable organizations.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
But they are not REITs.
I know. So
Okay, so in your opinion, has the market been strong over the past 2 years? Have we gone past the pre-recession highs and with the prices of properties
in the Boston area.
in the Boston area?
Yes, which is according to all past real estate cycles. It's following the normal trend.
So how long do you think this would continue
That I
for?
cannot say. This is a most unusual cycle. We're on the up cycle. I originally thought we had another year or 2 to go, but because of the limited supply and the increase in employment and the deluge of foreign buyers with unlimited amounts of money, I don't know how long it's gonna last. Could go another 3 or 4 years.
So last year in, was it the Herald? I have to put my glasses on. Maybe it was the Boston Globe. Boston Globe. You were interviewed, and the question was buy or sell. They called you the real estate guru,
Mhm.
and the guru did not know the answer, whether to buy or sell.
Yes, for the same reasons I just gave you. No,
Nothing's changed.
nothing has changed. I would certainly, well, one modification. I would certainly not buy anything now,
Really?
Why do you say that?
because
of the-
prices are at an all-time high.
They're in their bidding wars.
And they're bidding wars, and it may go higher.
Yeah,
But the other horrible possibility is it may go quite lower.
lower, yeah. The elastic.
So you've seen precipitous drops in the past in valuations
In
in
the
Boston?
last 150 years, there's been about 12 or 14 real estate cycles up and down. It's inexorable. It happens.
Have we really had one in the last even 30 years?
We just had one, 2008, 2009.
Depends on the zip code. Boston prices pretty much didn't miss a beat.
You're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
I hate to say that.
Okay.
I'm not being very diplomatic.
Yeah,
But
that's
you're totally-
fine.
But you're totally wrong. Of course, in 2008, 2009, prices plummeted.
Okay. What about 2010?
They're starting to come up. They
Okay.
started to come up.
All right.
Now they're past their peak, or they were last time. But the cycles follow what I call a sinusoidal curve. They're up and down, but it's ascending.
Ever trending higher.
Which means when there's a successive downturn, it's always higher than the last downturn, and when it's up, it's always higher than the last upturn.
And what was that curve again?
Sinusoidal, ascending, sinusoidal, asymptotic. You know what
This is the-
asymptotic means?
This is the MIT
You know what asymptotic means?
Asymptotic.
mind talking.
Means sinusoidal, up and down,
Yeah.
ascending, going up.
Yep.
Asymptotic means it never stops. It
Hmm.
approaches infinity.
You still own Dexter Park.
Yes,
That's a large, what do you call it, corporate housing, or it's a mix?
it's a mix. It's,
You have furnished and unfurnished.
When did you buy
What was
Dexter
it?
Park in,
at the bottom of at the session.
In
2008?
2008,
I was gonna say, that was really well-timed on your part.
Timing couldn't have been better.
Yeah, that was, would you consider that your prized jewel?
No,
What would be your prized
we have a
jewel?
number of prize jewels.
No, like.
treasure
like-
chest.
Like how many would you say?
Well, they're all jewels.
it's like
Okay.
kids, you can't pick a favorite.
Okay,
Right.
what do you think Dexter, well, what did you purchase Dexter Park for?
About 130 million,
And what do you think it's worth now?
about 200.
Pretty good. pretty
Couple
good.
years, not bad.
Okay, so were there any problem properties that you've had in the past that you were glad to have gotten rid of?
We haven't gotten rid of any properties.
Ever?
We've sold some occasionally if someone has offered us an outrageous price.
Okay.
We have sold it occasionally.
Because I asked you, what you would do any differently if you could do anything, and over again, you said never sell anything,
Right.
but you've sold very
As
Very little.
As a recent talk I gave, some young fellow like him got up and said, "What? How do I make money in real estate? What's the formula?" And you know what my answer was?
buy and hold.
Stay alive.
Stay alive. Okay, that's always good advice, right? Let's see.
So what's your process of finding tenants, the right tenant? Do you have a process for that?
Well, we have a management company,
Mm-hmm.
and we work through brokers, real estate brokers,
Mm-hmm.
and we either rent through our office or through brokers.
So do you, is credit really important to you when it comes to a tenant, or do you?
No, of course, we don't care whether they can pay or not. What kind of a question is that?
Well, I know
Are
what
you
the
all right?
Well,
I
is
know
it
what
like
the question
excellent
is.
credit? Is that important, or do you
Pardon
rent
me?
to people if they can prove that they can pay?
Would you rent to someone who couldn't pay?
Well,
I'll reword.
Yeah,
Please
thank
don't
you.
Don't answer any more stupid questions.
I'll reword the question.
Okay.
So the question is this: let's say that you had two couples.
Mm-hmm.
One had higher FICO scores. They were all over 700, which are good scores. One couple had higher scores. One had slightly lower scores, but in the end, for some intangible reason, you went with the ones that had the slightly lower score. Is there an intangible sometimes to
There's no
decide?
intangible, it's first come, first served. Whoever applied first to put their rent check in, if their credit.
And the credits are good and they have the
get it.
income.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair.
Okay, all right, fairness then. All right, that's good. Okay, so I have a really monumental question, and you gotta use a
Ooh.
lot of.
Am I ready for it?
I think no one's
Is
gonna
he
be ready for this one.
Is he ready for
Yeah,
it?
he'll be ready. We gotta go, ooh. Let's say you had to sell everything. There's the government mandate, Harold Brown has to sell everything. He's got a monopoly, whatever the reason. You have to sell everything. You're gonna get market value for it, okay?
Right.
Now you have the cash, they're not gonna let you buy any more real estate. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can buy real estate, but where are you gonna put the cash? You have a choice. You can reinvest it. They just didn't like you owning those properties. Now they say, well, start over again, but you have the cash.
I put them in high-grade municipals.
Really? Right now? Because you don't think real estate has upside?
You just said I
Well,
couldn't.
you-
No, I
You can
changed it.
buy
I said
other real estate
you can
property.
buy other real estate.
Oh, I can buy.
But
real
just
estate.
not what you have.
Yeah, is it like you'd be like a kid in a candy store buying real estate again, or how would you handle things?
Probably would concentrate on new construction, building our own, as we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the prices of existing property, in my opinion, is too high.
Okay, so how do you find the property to buy? Is it tear down buildings or just open land?
With difficulty.
So you
It's
have
hard to find.
so you
It's
have
hard to
all
find. It's
so
hard
you
to
have all that money, and it's going to be a lot of work to
It is
to
to
do
find,
it,
yeah.
because it took you a while to accumulate what you have.
Only 60 years.
60.
We just had our 60th anniversary last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have
It's
any
incredible.
big new construction projects going up now?
Yes, we have an apartment building, 30, 40 unit apartment building going up in town on the corner of Boylston and Mass Avenue, prime location.
Mhm.
And that's an interesting building because it's being built entirely with our charitable funds. And all the income from that building goes to the community.
Very nice.
Despite that, when we went to the neighborhood for approval, there were some people objected,
Of course.
which shows
You're
you.
kidding.
Which,
We want to give
Good indication
give back to the
of
city.
community approval,
Pe-
yeah.
But they have a
the
problem with it.
neighbors don't always do what's best.
What was their problem?
And then we're also putting up an 80-unit building in Alston, right near our office. We also have a permit to put up an apartment building in Waltham. And we have the potential for a very large building. But I can't tell you where or when, but it's very exciting, and you will hear about it soon.
Very good.
It's exciting.
That's interesting. So let's see. We have some more questions. I think that's that one. Here. Let's see. Go for it.
Oh, you can do that
It's
one.
political. It's political. It's a world political. What do you think we're going to expect from the current world crisis in the Ukraine? Well, in Ukraine and Gaza. In your opinion, will either or both of these conflicts impact our markets and our economy? No, that's not funny.
Well, have you completed the
Although it
question?
made me laugh.
You better repeat it. You started laughing. Tell me.
No, he put the laugh track in. The world events, what's going on right now in Ukraine and Gaza, it has shaken the stock market a little bit last week. I'm just wondering if any of these types of current events factor into your decision to do a project or pay a certain price for a property.
None whatsoever.
You never look at the news?
No. Well, I don't say that. I read the
But
news
it
every
doesn't-
day, but it doesn't affect real estate.
News does not
If you own
affect.
something in Gaza,
Right.
you might have a problem.
Okay, so the outlook for Boston is better than Gaza. Okay, can I have a pen? I'll take that note down. Okay. So,
So what do you think your average homeowners should be doing now? What should they be doing?
Renting.
Renting, buying, renting, not
I
buying?
wouldn't buy now, I would rent.
Rent,
Wait for the next downturn, then buy.
okay.
Have you had any great experiences with tenants?
What does that mean?
I guess the answer in a way is probably no. I mean, it's just like the tenants of a building appreciate you so much that they had a big party for you, or an
I've
appreciation
had
dance.
some of them throw their arms around me and kiss me,
That's
but not in lieu of rent.
That would be the laugh track there.
Yeah, and see, that we missed that one. What would be one of the worst experiences you've ever had with a tenant or a group of tenants? Was there a tenant union once that you had?
Well, there were always, yeah, there have been tenant unions, and we had one occasion where they were actually marching on us, but they discovered they had the wrong landlord. That's how bright they were,
Really?
yeah. But we
It was a
have had-
whole building?
It was, I don't wanna mention names, but
Sure.
But they
had
were
the
like
wrong-
picketing outside
Yeah,
your
they had the
office?
wrong office, that's all.
They were picketing outside your office?
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't your building that they lived
But
in?
we've had tenant unions, but we deal with them, you know. We usually are able to work out something with them.
Sure.
So,
We bought some years ago, 1200 Mass Avenue, which is a large apartment building right across from Harvard. And it was rife with a tenant union. And we bought the building and we worked out something with them. And they were very happy.
Did you do like a controlled rent, or is that what they were looking for? Oh. Oh.
so Harold, do you still own a piece of a movie production company?
No, that was a most unfortunate business investment.
Oh, tell us about it.
Well, at one time I thought we would diverse and go into the movie business, you know, Hollywood stars and all
Okay.
that sort of thing. It just didn't work out. It was exciting and interesting, but we lost a lot of money.
Hmm.
What about the clothing boutique?
Oh, that was very successful.
You
I,
still you still
partnered.
have that?
No, I sold the building and the clothing boutique. I decided I wasn't into women's clothes, so.
So, can you name some of the towns and cities you own properties in and around Boston?
Well, most of them. Boston, Cambridge, Brookline, Malden, Medford, Somerville,
Quincy?
Quincy. Quincy we have a lot. Taunton, Newton.
Are there some towns or some areas of the city you try to avoid, or everything at the right price is valuable?
No, if we got the right price, the right property, we would purchase anywhere. At one time, we owned property all across the country, Salt Lake City, the West Coast, but I don't like traveling, so we sold it. We invest only in New England, Massachusetts primarily, some in New Hampshire.
What kind of return do you look for? What makes a property desirable? I mean, you probably
Well,
getting,
that's in the eyes of the beholder.
you're getting pitched property all day long.
I mean, our returns are anywhere from 0 to unlimited.
Why is zero a good investment?
It isn't at the time, but we improve it,
Eventually.
and so it becomes a good investment.
It's zero because you're making
We
improvements.
may
to-
buy it at a 0 return because we feel it has upside potential, and with our unbelievable expertise, we create profit.
Do you have an estimate of how many units you have now?
We have about 5,500 units now.
That's it? I would have thought over 10,000.
We did at one time, but we condoed about 3,000 or 4,000 units, and we have about 3 million,
So you've trimmed back.
and we have about 3 million square feet of commercial.
I love this quote. It was from Boston Magazine. When you start in 54, you refinance the property, pulled down $5 grand more than you'd sunk into the property, and then a light bulb went off, and you said, this is a very good business.
That's exactly true. That's how I started off the real estate business.
If it wasn't for the real estate business, what were you gonna do?
Well, at the time I bought my first building, I'm an engineer by training. And I was the vice president and general sales manager of a large manufacturing concern in New York. We had 500-man sales force, offices all over the world. It was, if I may say so, a big job.
So you're a MIT graduate.
Yes.
Did anything that you learned at MIT help you in the real estate business?
Yes, I can easily tell if something is rusted or not, because I'm
Rusted.
majored in metallurgical engineering.
So you can inspect water tanks and.
Any engineering training is good training because it teaches you how to think
Thinking.
logically.
Okay, on one of my past shows, you mentioned that a way to hold on to your copper piping
Mhm.
so people wouldn't steal it
Oh.
was to paint the pipes black.
Yes, we did that once. We did about 1,000 units in the Roxbury, Dorchester area, low-income housing, and there was a problem in people stealing pipes, so we painted them black.
And the theft was eliminated after that?
Yes, yeah, they thought it was cast iron.
No one would steal black
Huh.
pipes.
Right, yeah.
So what other tricks have you learned? Because that's
brilliant, yeah.
That's a good one. Did
Well,
you come
yeah.
up with that, or
I don't know where they came. I
Okay.
don't know if that was
Take
my
credit.
idea or not. I'm not sure.
take credit?
I don't remember who said.
I'm gonna take credit. I told you.
I did supply the black
I told you.
paint.
So any other tricks?
Well, I don't know.
You gotta share all of them.
I don't know if there are any tricks or not.
No, that was classic.
No.
Just coming up with solutions to the problem that's in front of you.
Right.
I love the story about the hotel terrain. Did you sell that one?
Oh, no, yeah, that's one of our prime properties.
So
So
what's
you
the story behind Hotel Terrain?
Well,
Well, it was converted to apartments by Morris Gordon. I don't know if you remember him, many years ago. Then the Saudi Arabians bought it from him, and they couldn't handle it. They had like 35% vacancy. It was all hookers. There was a pornographic movie theater on the first floor, and Charlestown Savings foreclosed on it, got it, and they called me up and they sold it to me for $1 million, which was a good price in those days. And we got rid of the undesirable elements. We rented it. We got rid of the pornographic movies. So the bank wouldn't take rents from them because it was pornographic movies, but we did. And then we evicted them. And the biggest problem we had there was I got an emergency call from the head of the Chinese union, whom I was very friendly with. Harold, you just evicted my girlfriend. So
Was
we
she-
reinstated her, but we had to guarantee the lease.
was she
So-
running the bookstore?
I'm not sure
or-
what she was doing.
Or was she one of the
But,
prostitutes?
I'm not sure, I don't know.
Or both?
But it's where the hotel is full. We just had an offer of like 70 million for it, so
Wow.
it's doing well. On the taxes, at the time we bought it, the taxes were more than the gross income of the building.
Oh,
So, let's see, this would have been a couple years ago. Stoneholm Street, the 120 unit stucco building, you still have that?
No, we condoed that and we sold it, and we kept the garage, we still have the garage.
So you bought that
We bought
for,
it, condoed it, and kept the garage.
and that was, what would you say, the upside on that from taking it? Why would anybody not condo it themselves?
Well, conduit is not easy, it's very difficult. To condo a building is not easy.
Did you go in and pretty much gut the whole thing?
Well, we did a major rehab, we converted to condo, we had to market it, and finance it. Condoing is not easy.
Did you get a good return though,
Yeah,
in the end?
yeah.
Glad to hear that. Anything else you want to share with our national and perhaps even international audience?
Well, as I said before, I think homeowners, instead of buying a home, should rent
Yeah.
and wait for the next downturn, and of course that will increase the demand for apartments.
So
The apartments are, which is good for you, right? What's that? It was a joke?
he has a lot of rentals.
That's gonna help you out, right?
She takes a little longer, but she gets it eventually.
So you really don't think that's necessarily the case? You think people probably are better off?
No, I think they're better off renting, and a lot of people have found that to be so. Because prices are very high, and they're getting worse, as you said before.
Rental
I don't
prices
know
are
of
high
any
too.
properties that have not gone for over the asking price.
Well, that's another question. With rental prices going so high, the rents going up every year, do you see this to be an ongoing trend into the future?
Well, I think this is a potential problem, what you just said.
Mhm.
Rents are gonna reach the point where people can't pay it, and
What
rents are
happens?
gonna start coming down.
They can't afford to buy, they can't afford to rent.
Well, they're gonna,
Have to move
rents are
further
gonna
out.
start coming down, or they're gonna start coming to our type properties, which are Class B properties, and our rents are like 60% of the other rents, so they come to us.
And that's probably the best place to be in the market.
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely, yeah.
your vacancy rate
Right,
is probably
right.
very low.
We don't have a vacancy rate.
Zero?
I wouldn't say it's zero.
Yeah,
it's
but
very
you can
low.
rent
Close.
them pretty quickly.
Close.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
This has been great. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate you coming in
Enjoyed it. I'm
today.
glad you called me, gee, I would have, first time I've ever visited it.
Well, this has been Real Estate on Sunday. Did we even mention the phone
We
number?
did
Tim?
not.
We
If
didn't.
you'd
Well, you
like
can
to give us
call
a
next
call,
week.
call us next week, 1-800-967-3561. And I'm Diana Doherty with
Jim
Harold Brown.
Lowenstern.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you next week.